How some serial killers died. Death number 1. Ted Bundy, electric chair. On January 24, 1989, at 7:06 in the morning, Ted Bundy was escorted to the execution chamber at Florida State Prison. He was 42 years old. In the days leading up to his execution, he spent hours with investigators, confessing to more than 30 murders committed between 1974 and 1978. He provided meticulous details, but showed no remorse. He used the information as a bargaining chip he would never get the chance to spend. Inside the execution room, witnesses watched from behind the glass. Among them were officers, journalists, and relatives of the victims. Bundy was strapped to the wooden chair. Electrodes were attached to his right leg and scalp. When asked if he had any last words, he replied calmly, "Give my love to my friends and family." At exactly 7:06, the switch was thrown. 2,000 volts surged through his body for nearly a full minute. The smell of burned material filled the room. The witnesses remained silent. At 7:16, a prison doctor pronounced him dead. Death number 2. Jeffrey Dahmer, murdered in prison. On November 28, 1994, Jeffrey Dahmer was assigned to clean a bathroom in the gymnasium of the Columbia Correctional Institution in Wisconsin. He was 34 years old. He was serving 16 life sentences for the murder of 17 men and boys between 1978 and 1991. In prison, he kept a low profile, but occasionally made dark jokes about his crimes. This enraged other inmates. That morning, he was left unsupervised for approximately 10 minutes with 2 other prisoners, Christopher Scarver and Jesse Anderson. When guards returned, Dahmer was lying on the floor with severe head injuries. Anderson was also critically wounded. Scarver later admitted to using a metal bar from the exercise equipment, claiming he acted under divine orders. Dahmer was taken to a nearby hospital where he died an hour later. The official cause of death was massive blunt force trauma. His body was cremated at his own request. His brain was initially preserved for study, but later destroyed after his parents failed to agree on its fate. The man who had dismembered his victims died dismembered by another inmate. Death number 3. John Wayne Gacy, lethal injection. Shortly after midnight in 1994, John Wayne Gacy was led into the execution chamber. He was 52 years old. He'd been convicted of the murder of 33 young men and boys. He spent the day in prayer with a Catholic priest. For his last meal, he requested a bucket of fried chicken from KFC, French fries, fried shrimp, strawberries, and a Diet Coke. Not a regular Coca-Cola, a Diet Coke. Even on the eve of his execution, he would not risk sugar. Outside the prison, crowds gathered to celebrate the end of the man known as the Killer Clown. Death number 4. Aileen Wuornos. She asked for her execution. She meant it, and the state agreed. On October 9, 2002, she was executed after spending more than a decade on death row for the murder of 7 men between 1989 and 1990. She was 46 years old. Her final years were marked by erratic behavior and conspiracy claims. In a letter to the court, she wrote, "I am competent. Let me have my execution." She fired her lawyers, accused prison staff of abuse, and told journalists she believed the government wanted her dead. In her final days, she refused a last meal, requesting only a cup of coffee. On the morning of her execution, she calmly walked to the chamber. Witnesses said she appeared emotionless as she was strapped to the gurney. When asked for her last words, she said something no one expected: "I'll be back." At 9:47, the lethal injection began. Within minutes, her breathing slowed, her eyes closed. Doctors pronounced her dead at 9:53. She was the only woman on this list, and the only one who begged for her own death.